Welcome to the OK Show. My name is Iceman.
Get about to South Ron Rodriguez. First off, can you hear me?
You sound funny.
Can you hear me
I
though?
can I can hear you, but it doesn't seem like you have a mic. What's going on? You using a different
Hold
mic?
on. The what?
It seems like the
There.
mic is far away from you.
There, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's not broadcast quality audio.
Got it. Because I'm trying out this new setup. I'm using hold on. But you can, okay, if you can hear me through this, then I guess it's decent. But I'm using this mic thing here. And it's obviously not on the same level as my usual mic. It's kind of
I I
cumbersome to set.
I had a mic like that, and you know what happened to it?
You ate it?
No, I threw it in the trash.
Well, you have a lot of money.
No, because I bought it for about $10, I guess, like in dollars, right? So it was like 1,000 yen, and I thought I
Yeah.
should try it out. But I used it when I used to join your show when you used to do the show with, I think was that with Gabby or with Reese? You used to do that radio show back then, and I
Uh-huh.
needed something, just in the meantime to record my voice. So I bought a mic like that, and yeah, I mean,
You
it
mean
was
like
okay
live at
if
the
you
studio? You mean like live at the
no, no,
studio
no, no. I
or?
was recording stuff through what was
Oh,
that? What was
this is
that?
not for recording, man. This is absolutely
All
not for
right. Yeah,
recording.
but
This is terrible.
it was okay then because it was just for, like you recorded through what do we use at the station? The one they use for
Um,
editing?
for the
Radio
recording.
Wave, WAV, what was that?
Oh yeah,
Radio
the
Cool Edit, Cool
cool
Edit.
edit. Yeah, cool edit.
So I
It's so
recorded
old
through.
school.
Yeah, right. So I recorded through Cool Edit using a mic like that. It was passable. It was okay. But with this, what we're doing right now, dude, I mean, this is like sort of a podcast we're doing. It's like a live stream, and you're using that mic. Where the heck did you get that?
Yeah, basically, no. I'm not. This is not what it's for. You know that I have other mics, right? But what I'm saying
I know
is,
I'm that's why I'm messing with you with that mic. I
yeah,
mean,
but I
I know
like.
you
Come on,
have those
man.
expensive mics. Why are you using that?
No. But the best mics I have, that's the one that you use with a hookup. You kind of need a what do you call this? The Focusrite. That's the one I actually got that from John.
Right.
It's quite cumbersome, and right now I'm not at a studio yet. I have not set up my home studio yet. So those are all going to be set up for the home studio situation. This is all actually like I'm just trying this out because it's less cumbersome. Like I'm not. This is nothing permanent. This is not going to be my setup. I have a better setup than this. But what I actually
I
want to
think
do is
it's
kind of
better
like
if you get rid of that mic and just use the phone mic or
you
the
really you
computer mic.
think
Yeah,
you think
because that's yeah,
okay
I
hold
think
on
so. I
hold on
believe so.
all right
Okay, try it out.
I'll remove this. All right, hold
Let's
on.
see which is better. I would assume the because you're
There, can you
using a
hear
Viper
me?
Pro. It's better.
Can you hear me? I can hear you though.
I it's better. You can't hear me. You can't hear me. Oh, my
You can
mic
hear me, but
sucks
okay,
then.
hold on. Because I need. I'm gonna try to go direct. So for the people wondering what's going on, I've been trying this out because I was thinking about like if I can hold on there.
I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. Nothing.
That's the thing. So if hold on, where is it? I don't know why with the headphones this thing doesn't have. I don't know why it doesn't have like the headphone thing. Like I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
because we remember when we first did the show.
Right.
So put it back here. Remember when we first did the show? The
Mm-hmm.
very first time we did it,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was just doing it like with just the phone. I don't even remember. I didn't even need a setup or anything for that. And now I don't know why it's not like. Remember when we had Judge on? By the way, condolences to the Valentino family for the passing of
Right,
the
right. I
family
saw the post. I
patriarch.
saw the
Yeah,
post.
yeah. Attorney Raul
Condolences to
Valentino, great man.
the Filipino family.
Yeah, and condolences to the family. But I remember when we had Judge and he joined the show and he didn't need anything else. He just had his phone up. He didn't have any headset. Now I'm wondering why when I remove the plugin, I can't hear you, but you can hear me. Like if I'm using the mic for the phone for the iPhone mic. You can hear me if I remove the plugin, but I can't hear you, so I can't monitor you. So that's kind of like the weird thing about it. But anyways, let's go through this. I'm gonna try to get my MacBook since I do have this. I'm gonna try to set that one up. All right. So what are we talking about today?
Um, Flashback Friday.
Okay. Specifically, anything under the sun?
Basically, we'll start out with old technology that nobody uses anymore. Let's roll with that.
Got it. Okay. So okay, can it be like stuff that's like defunct already? Can it be stuff that like we still use it, but it's a modern version of it? So we're talking about the older version, for example, mobile phones. Like we still use mobile phones, we just don't use the Nokia phones anymore. Can we still talk about the Nokia phones?
Floppy disk. See, there are answers already. Floppy disk.
Oh my
Yamada-san.
god,
Thanks. Floppy
that is
disk.
so
Nobody
true.
uses
That is
floppy
so
disks
true.
anymore. I
That is
used to
so true.
use
Cassette tapes.
those
Cassette
things.
tapes.
Floppy disks and micro floppy, right?
Yeah.
Even iPods are gone. They're still around, but I mean, if you have an
They're on
iPhone,
the
why would you
phones.
have an iPod,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah. But I know what you're saying. Like we're talking about the iPod where when you select the music library, you have to like touch the thing and it's like a circle. So you wrote
Yeah,
like it's like touch sensitive. That was so cool when it first came
that should
out.
be
That was so,
obsolete.
so
That should
cool.
be obsolete, right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I mean, really? Would you still get an iPod like that? Might as well
Nah.
get an
Yeah, if
iPhone,
you
right?
want it
Just get an
if you
iPhone.
want to have the retro feel.
I
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
save the
It
game
was just cool back
Pokemon
in the
floppy
day.
disk 2003. Was there a Pokemon game already back in 2003?
Dude, there was a Pokemon game. There's a Pokemon game. I think as early as 2001, maybe 2000,
Oh,
if I'm not
really?
mistaken. Because I remember
Wow.
playing it on the Game Boy Color. I don't know if it first came out on a Game Boy Color or a Game Boy in general, like the old
Mhm.
Game Boy. But I know I first played it on my sister's
Okay.
Game Boy Color.
Mr. Yamada saying Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, 1999. Oh,
Pokemon.
really? As early
There
as
you go.
1999. I
Pokemon
didn't know
Blue.
that.
There's also
Like I
red. It
said,
was Pokemon Blue
I'm not a
was
gamer.
yellow, and then they had red like later. So yeah, I played it first 2001. I remember that, and I got hooked on it. It's crazy. So all right, I'm trying to hook up and trying to get the proper connection here. So VHS tapes, VHS, Betamax. Betamax became obsolete first. VHS lived longer life because I think they had like a larger storage because they were bigger. Maybe the quality was also better. But the Betamax, which I think was patented by Sony owned Betamax, um, was much cooler looking. And I remember it being popular here in the Philippines because when I came from the Philippines, it was Betamax, and then when I went to the US, it was VHS. And I actually thought that the Betamax was like the newer thing because it was smaller, more compact. But apparently VHS was the like the upgraded version, which is weird. Usually the upgrade is like smaller, more sleek. But that was the case. All right, so obsolete technology. Remember the? Did you ever own one of those like when you had your first car and you did not have a CD player in your car? Did you have that tape that you put in the tape player, the tape deck, or the stereo of your car, and then and that tape is like wired to a disc player, CD player. I don't know if you remember that super obsolete technology now, but It used to be like if you could afford a Pioneer head unit with a CD player, you would buy that thing. So it's like it has a tape, and you connect it. You put it in your tape player, and it will um, it will play the music from your CD player, which was connected to that tape thing. It's really kind of hard to explain, but it
Wow.
basically lets you play CDs on
I
on
imagine
a
it's
tape
really
player on
complicated
your
then,
car
huh?
stereo.
I mean, installing it
Yeah,
and getting it started, yeah, it sounds complicated and it would look complicated, and I would assume it is complicated.
and it was crappy too. I mean, it's not. It wasn't
Right.
complicated. It's basically you put it in like a tape. It's just that it's that tape thing that goes in your player because you don't have a CD player, but the tape has a wire and is connected to a CD player. So the CD player is like maybe you put that on your front seat, or I don't
You
know
know
where you
what my
put it on
dad
the
would
floor, but
say? You know what my dad would say to that?
just wait it out.
No, baligyan na. Baligyan na sa Coke. Baligyan na sa Pepsi.
And the thing is, Coke won't
That's what
even
my
buy
dad
it.
would
There's not
say.
enough metal on it. But but apparently for the and that's the thing too that blew me away because it's like you buy. I think they only sold the tape thing though. I think they only sold the tape thing. So if you already had like a Discman or a portable CD player, you could actually play it on the thing, and it's you could actually play it if you had a Discman, and maybe it was cheaper. Maybe because you just had to buy the tape and attach the cable for it. So I don't know. But my first car, I did not have a CD player. I don't know if your car had a CD player in the first car. And apparently that was during the era of CD already when I had my first car. So did yours have a car? I mean, a CD player?
I remember. I remember the Volkswagen when we had the Volkswagen. Um, was it a
What
CD
was your first
player?
car? Was it the Alto? Was it called Alto?
No,
Or
no,
was
no.
it
Like
the
no.
Super
Way
Carry?
before we met, we had a Volkswagen. We got a Volkswagen, and it was set up right. So I would assume
Yeah, yeah.
it has to. Well, it had to be a CD player. But I think when he sold it
But
to
you got
us,
to
he took it out.
did
I
you get
think
to
he
drive
took
that?
it with him.
Was that like your car you were using for work?
No, 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 no. No, I didn't use that. I couldn't drive it that time. I remember it was set up. It should have been a CD player. I don't remember anymore. I mean, tape
Okay, I'm
that would
gonna
have been
exit this.
lousy if it was
I'm
a
gonna
tape.
enter with the other one.
All right,
I'm gonna enter with the
let's
other.
see.
Can I actually have two, and then I'll just exit the other one. Is that
All
gonna
right,
work?
okay. It's
All
probably
right.
gonna work.
So
Let's try.
probably this is just cool technology. All right. Let's see if it works. So like two angles. Whoa! Inception.
I only
But
see
I only
there.
okay there.
What the
What the
heck?
heck?
You have to,
You have to,
no, you have to
no, you
do
have
it
to
with
do
Joe
it with two
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Ladies and
Ladies
gentlemen,
and
it's Joe
Dude, are
gentlemen,
you
guys,
Rodriguez.
cloned?
Rodriguez.
Man, are you
Hi
cloned?
guys.
Holy crap, man! What happened?
All right,
All
so
right.
I'm gonna
I'm
exit
gonna
this
exit
thing.
this thing.
Get rid of this
Get rid-
crappy stuff. All right, hold on. So, talking about technology. There you go. Now we're back. So, sound better?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it
Okay,
does.
cool. Thank God. All
Way,
right.
way better. Right. Okay.
What?
Cool. So yeah, I don't remember if we had if we had CD on it or was it a tape deck. I couldn't remember, but yeah, it was a Volkswagen, and there was a thing that plays music. Could have been a tape deck. It could have been a CD player. I don't remember, but yeah, the first car that I remember that we actually had was a Volkswagen, and yeah, we didn't do much with with the car. We didn't even try.
Was your dad driving it? Was he the one
My
driving it
dad was
around all the
driving
time?
it, and my brother drove it as well.
Hold
Even
on.
though he didn't have a license, he was driving it around town. So it was yeah, it was crazy. But we had that car. So when we had the ice mobile, I really pushed myself to be able to drive so that I can you know I can drive to work. It's back when we had Volkswagen. I was so scared and I was so timid. I was like, I probably couldn't drive. It's so difficult. I don't wanna I don't wanna hit somebody or I don't want to get into an accident or something. So I didn't really push myself, and I never really tried. I thought it was really complicated. Then I learned when we had the the ice mobile. And
Yeah.
FYI, the ice mobile is a multi cab. I think it's a Suzuki. I don't think it was a Daihatsu. It's a Suzuki.
Did you go to a
Tint
driving
out.
school? I don't
No,
think
I
I
didn't.
think
My
a lot of the
dad
kids
taught
here
me.
did not go to
My
driving school,
dad
right?
taught
It's
me.
expensive.
My dad taught me. My dad taught me, and I learned how to drive. So yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's 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 like the case here. Everybody gets taught by their parent, and nobody
How about a
that doesn't seem to be
Walkman?
a problem.
Yeah, well, true, true. But
Oh,
okay,
that's
let's go to
super. Yeah,
Walkman. Did you have a
that's also.
Walkman?
I did. I remember telling you that story that I was like one of the first. I was in Capitan Tomas. I was in public school, and then my dad came home for vacation and brought me a Sony Walkman. And my uncle in Manila, because I would stay in Manila to meet up with my dad. My uncle in Manila was like so blown away, and he borrowed it. I remember him borrowing it because like nobody had like a Walkman back then, and my dad bought me a Walkman. I was like what 10 years old, and I
Uh-huh.
remember when my uncle borrowed it and gave it back to me, he left a tape. He forgot his tape, and it was when I put on the headphones because I didn't have a tape yet of my own, and I pressed play because I saw the tape. The first words I heard was shout, shout, let it
Let
all out. These are the things I can do it, and that was my uncle's tape. That was Tears for Fears, and
come on, come
I
on.
was blown away, man. That was my first tape because he never asked for it back. He never got it back. And then I asked my dad to go to SM with me to bring me to SM so I
That
could
was
buy
a
the Michael
present. That was a
Jackson
present
Thriller
for
tape,
you.
and that's
See,
when
you
that
let him
was my
borrow it.
first.
He left you a present. He left you a present, and that present was the Tears for
Yeah,
Fears
yeah, yeah,
tape.
yeah. Very cool uncle. He's a very cool uncle. He's probably my coolest, one of my coolest. Like, yeah, he's a very cool uncle. My uncle Ferdy. If you're watching this, Uncle Idref. He is a very cool guy, and I remember him like just chilling out and listening to the Walkman. He was like, and I'm pretty sure he was super jealous because like his 10-year-old nephew has a Walkman. But see, that's one of the perks back then. If you had a relative or a parent living abroad and they were sending you stuff, it was like back in the day, you were like way ahead of everybody else. I mean, especially here in Davao, where we're even further behind in Manila. But it's not like now where sometimes we get stuff here first. Like people have access to gadgets here that probably won't be available in the US for
I
like
know a
maybe,
lot of people who wants a PS5. They can't get it, and they live in Japan.
yeah.
You're in the Philippines. You have a PS5.
That's right.
When
That's
we were
right.
talking back then,
Um
I thought everybody had a PS5 here. But then when I said in the classroom, when we have those, activities like we have this small talk activity, and everybody like, oh, what do you want for like what birthday present do you want? I said, I'm like, oh, I want a PS5, and they'd be like, whoa. I mean, why? Like, is it difficult to get it here? Like, no, it's difficult to get it here. There's nothing's available. Like everywhere you go, even in Tokyo, you can't get it. I'm like, really? Oh my god! No wonder my friend was saying like, I have a PS5. I'm like, holy crap! See,
yeah, it's crazy,
even
right? It's crazy. It's crazy that the Philippines, a supposedly third world country, could have something like that, and it's not even available, or it's hard to find in the country of its origin, which is Japan. But
mm,
that seems to be the case. It's even worse in Europe, bro. It's even worse in Europe because like when I visited my dad in Germany in 1995, dude, I was trying to find a Super Nintendo game. Like Super Nintendo was, I think, the system then. They didn't have the PlayStation, the PS1 yet, or at least it wasn't available back then. And there was only like one store I remember in the entire city of Bonn that sold it, and they only had like two games. And I was looking for, I think, Street Fighter 2 or something for the Super Nintendo, and it was so hard to find. And it just goes to show you that they're so behind. Like Europe is back then. Europe was like so behind. If you wanted comics, if you wanted like
mm-hmm.
basketball cards, if you wanted cool stuff, it's hard to find. Here in the Philippines, we had Tamiya, the Tamiya craze here, the oldie craze, those car things. I'm pretty sure those things were probably not that easy to find in the US or in other parts of the world. But that's not considered technology, is it?
What Tamiya?
Would you consider that? Would you consider that as a like technology, like
Tamiya?
radio control cars?
I think so. I mean, how can you come up with the radio control cars without technology? I mean, you used to play with
So that
those homemade cars that has strings in it, and you just like pull them around. I mean, would you rather play with
and
that?
the wheels are
I mean,
made
yeah,
of
I mean that's
chinelas.
cool.
The
Yeah,
wheels were made of
yeah,
chinelas,
that
right? Cut
too.
out
I mean, that
chinelas.
yeah, creative, but I mean, come
But
on,
it's rubber,
we've
right?
gone that
At least
far.
it was
Yeah, it's
rubber.
rubber. But anyway, yeah, talking about the PlayStation, I remember when I first came here and I worked for Sony, I heard that they used to make Sony where I used to work. I mean, no, they used to make PlayStation there where I used to work. That particular Sony branch. This was in Minokamo, Japan. When I got here, they were making cameras there, the digital cameras, the Sony Alpha cameras, and the camcorders. They make it there, and they were saying that there was a PlayStation division, and it was shut down. It was moved to a different location. So I don't know where they make it now. Is it still in Japan, or was it moved to China or Vietnam? I don't know. But yeah, back then they used to make Sony PlayStation, uh, right right here in Gifu, city next to me called Minokamo. So, but now it's closed down. Sony and Minokamo closed down. They moved to, was it
Okay.
Inazawa, or yeah, even Ichinomiya closed down. So it's quite a bit, of a travel from my place to find a Sony factory. Okay, let's read some messages. Remember Truck Attack product by Coke? What do you remember that Truck Attack? What's a Truck Attack?
It's a product.
Oh, I don't know. Like
I
Truck
do not
Attack.
know.
Oh,
Sounds
was it
like a
like a
promo.
gimmick? Yeah, promo. I don't remember any Truck Attack promotion or gimmick
Yeah,
back then.
yeah. We were.
I know that they had
Iceman
like
is
those
from the
yo-yos and stuff.
Iceman is from the one for what is that the million one one four
Yeah,
three
what was
one
that?
one three. The
But no,
Yeah, I
no, no, no.
wasn't here
But
for that. Oh no, no, was I
that
here
was
for
the
that?
Pepsi. I think that was the Pepsi.
Pepsi.
It
It
was
was
a big
Pepsi.
scandal. I think it was three four
Yeah.
nine. It wasn't 149. I think it's 349. I think that was the number. Everybody
Yeah,
had
that
it.
was Pepsi.
A lot of people had it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Joe telling me that his aunt had it, and they were given, I think, 500 pesos or something as like a
Holy
consolation prize
shit!
for the mistake that that thing that mistake that
Was there
Pepsi
a
made.
lawsuit filed against Pepsi for that? I think there was a lawsuit for that.
That I'm not sure, man. I
I
think there was
remember
a,
that.
I don't know, but if it happened
That was a
now, it would have
Pepsi.
been crazy. Yeah, if it
That was
happened
a
now, it would have been
Pepsi.
crazy.
That was a Pepsi promo. Okay,
That
let
was
me
a Pepsi promo,
confirm.
yeah.
All right, hang on.
Yeah, but you're right. You mentioned the yo-yo thing. That was a big thing. I went nuts for that yo-yo thing.
All right, see, here it is. Pepsi
So
349 scandal in the Philippines. Yes, 349 Pepsi number fever. I was right.
oh, you remember the
I'm right.
number,
I'm
huh?
right. Okay.
Like,
Yes, 349.
wow,
I could
good
not forget
memory,
that.
good
See?
memory, Ice,
Good memory.
good
Yeah. I
memory.
just Googled it.
I
Like,
applaud you for
yeah,
your
okay, still
memory.
got it right. 349. Okay, hipsters would probably buy old Walkmans today. They probably would. And I hope they would buy those old ass cameras that uses films. Because they still have it here in
Kodak.
Japan. Like some camera, no, not camera stores, but they're like sort of like Photoshop. I mean, they sell films, picture frames, the whole shebang. They also have those old cameras there, like those really old cameras, the ones that you need, to use films,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
those cameras. And they still have it there. They display it, and they sell it. I don't know if people would buy it. I mean, who would buy it? Why would you buy something like that?
There's
Why
there's a
would you punish
camera brand.
yourself?
I forgot what it's called, but it's really expensive, and it. I don't know if he's film or whatever the heck it is, but I'm trying to recall. I know there's like a club for it too. I think it starts with an Leica. I think it's called Leica. Like no, it's not Leica. It's a type of camera that's vintage looking. I remember seeing they
Right.
have like a boutique shop at
Right. That's
Greenbelt.
probably like the
Um,
Polaroid one. They look vintage with their Polaroids.
Yeah, they look vintage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not
My friend
Polaroid.
had that.
Polaroid is making a comeback, but it's a different kind of It's a different kind of camera. It's vintage looking, but I don't know if it's
I think it's
I
Fuji.
don't know if
Is it
it's
a
digital.
Fujifilm? No, all
Uh,
right, okay. I might be wrong, but
no,
I
it's
had a friend who it looks vintage, but it's Fuji. It's like sort of like, what do you call those things? I just call them Polaroid. They just like, like the pictures come
yeah.
out. The
Yeah, I
pictures
think it's
just come
called
out, and you're like,
Leica. Leica. That's the brand. Leica. It looks vintage. It looks like a DSLR,
let's Google
but
it.
it's freaking 500,000 pesos, dude. These things are expensive. The big
Leica,
ones. Yeah,
Leica cameras,
Leica. They look
Lake
vintage.
Leica. All
I
right,
don't know how
okay,
you pronounce it, but I pronounce it like Leica.
Leica.
It's spelled Leica, so it could be
Holy
Leica.
crap! It's
Probably Leica.
36,833 yen.
It's expensive. Those things are
It's
expensive.
expensive, right? What are these
And they're
cameras?
vintage looking. Like they don't make them look modern. They look like old school Maniniyot cameras. And there's a group for that. There's certain people who only take pictures with cameras like that because I don't know. It has a certain effect or something. Maybe it looks different if you're using those
Well,
lenses
they
and those
also
cameras.
have digital and mirrorless cameras,
Yeah,
right?
mirrorless.
But they also
Mirrorless
have
is the
like
thing
these
now.
vintage ones.
Yeah, mirrorless
Right.
is a thing. That's what I hear from photographers. It's like when you buy so apparently when you buy a digicam or an SLR, not a don't call it digicam, like a DSLR, like you should get mirrorless because I think the difference there is like there's no shelf life or maybe a longer shelf life for the shutter. Because if you use like a regular DSLR, there's a limit to the shutter life. Okay, one good
Mhm.
thing about analog cameras, according to Patrick, the old ones, is that since they are analog, you can digitize them to higher resolutions with great detail. All right. So,
I heard that. I heard
Patrick's,
that.
yeah. So, are you talking about the cameras? Like when you say old ones, are you talking about the cameras that you the 35 film, or even there's
Yeah,
even
that
another
too.
one, the one that's
That too.
like
I mean,
it's even older style,
the one
right?
with the
One three
films,
five. What is that called?
right?
Ice.
Yeah,
What's that called? The
35
one that's like
millimeter.
long. That 35 is a normal
So
one, but there's one that's like long, kind of like this,
oh
and has
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
two things at the end, and it's usually flat. It's usually like a flat camera,
Flat
and then you get the negatives with it, and
analog
so
cameras. Flat analog camera. What do you call them? Hang on. Let's see.
film types
Um. Okay, 110. That's a 110 format film.
110. That's it,
Yeah,
110. Yeah,
110
yeah, yeah. That's
cameras.
the one I was
110
referring to.
cameras.
That was the one.
Right.
That was the one I was referring to. I don't know about the 16 mm. I just know the 35 and the 110 because usually when you're a beginner and you can only afford like a cheap camera, usually they're 110s. They're the flat ones like that. So they're usually the ones that the younger kids would have, and the older folks would get the 35, 30 whatever because those were like the nicer cameras. But that was back in the day. It's crazy, right? But those are still around, right, Patrick? People still use those. It's just not no longer like popular, obviously. But
I, s-
apparently, if you say that,
I think that you can still get them here in Japan. If you go to
yeah,
the bigger cities, I think they still have those vintage cameras.
yeah. Good luck finding a place to have it developed here though, because back in the day you had Kodak, you had all these studios right here in Davao in San Pedro Street. There were a lot. You could always just bring your roll of film and then go back like a couple after a couple of days. And then the thing about that was, besides the fact that digital cameras obviously are just look nicer and you can immediately preview the picture and you can delete the ones you don't want to keep. You get a hard copy, yes, but a lot of the pictures sometimes would be defective. Like you'd have red eyes, or someone's eating pancit and they're like, they're not ready for the post. Someone's eyes are closed because of the flash. So you can't really do a retake because you don't really know what the picture's gonna look like until you actually get the finished product or once it's developed. But you do get the film, so you can have extra copies developed. And I remember that was like I don't know if that was a
And it's
week wait or
frustrating.
just a couple of days
It's
wait,
frustrating. I
right?
mean, you think about it. All right, there's a party. Somebody brought a camera, and somebody took pictures, and you're like, "All right, is it already developed?" I'm like, "No, no, not yet. I'll have it developed like next week." And you're like, "All right." Then 2 weeks pass. Hey, is it? You call your friend. Have you developed it? Like, nah, yeah, I'll get it in 2 days. And you're like, all right, I want to see the pictures. Then you see your friend. Then you're so excited, and you'd be like, oh, how did they look in those pictures? Then you start looking at the pictures, and you're like, fuck, man. what are these? Like your eyes closed, and you have like these red whatever, and it's like the one who took the pictures like kind of didn't really had a good angle, or like everybody didn't have a head or something. Oh
Yeah.
man, it was like, holy
Yeah, it's
God, I waited
terrible.
for
It's
this.
terrible.
It's like
I know,
I
I
waited
know.
3 weeks
I
for this.
know.
Holy
And
crap!
the thing is, we didn't get filters back then. Like you can get filters. Like if
No
your face was
filters.
oily, it was
No
oily. If
filters.
you were dark and it's like you could barely be seen because you're dark and there are no proper lighting. It's sorry, you have to accept that fact. There's no way to correct that. Now you can actually apply filters and just like totally
I
change
know.
the
I mean,
final product of the.
imagine the yearbook pictures. It took ages before you could
Oh
because they have
yeah,
to
that's right.
they have to what do you call that? Like they will give you those little things. It's like a proof. Did they call it proofing?
Proof. Yeah, I think
Was
they're
it
called proofs. Yeah, I think they're called proofs.
so
I
like
think they're
proofs?
called
So
proofs.
like they would give you the proofs, and there's like, all right, 4 photos, and you have to choose at least two.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, I
these like would
remember
take
those.
days,
Yeah,
man. It'd take about a week. Like come back after a week, then we'll have the proofs. Then like you check it out, then you choose. Then after that, you wait another week or something. So I mean, man,
so it's a
oh
waiting game.
crap, right?
And
Now
then
just
and then
snap a
sometimes
photo and like you can see it. Like, nah, I don't like it.
it's sometimes like when you have your pictures developed and you get it, it's exposed. And you know when the film is exposed, it's just like
Right,
white. Like there's nothing there. You can't.
white or
There's
yellow,
nothing
like
in the
really
picture,
bright
and you
yellow,
pay for
nothing.
it,
Yeah,
and you still have to pay for it. Okay, here's my question to you,
you have
Ice.
to pay for the paper.
When did these manong maniniots, these like roving photographers who always show up at graduations and weddings and whatnot, when did they start bringing out like developing the picture super fast? Like the event takes
I
place
don't
now,
know,
right? They
man.
take pictures and then you go outside
Right,
of the church or the venue, the pictures are
right,
all laid out already and you just have to choose.
right.
It's like three for a
Even
hundred.
before I finished college,
That was
they were
fast.
already doing it. They were already doing it.
That's like they were developing it like what, in an
This was in the
hour?
90s, man.
I
I
mean,
think this was in the
yeah, that was
90s.
90s. That was
I think
90s. That must have been
90s,
90s.
they
So
were already, doing that.
so they had
Like
the
I would,
basically they already had the technology to develop pictures within an hour back then, but they still made us come back after a couple of days because now you can when if you want a hard copy you can have it developed and usually it's like 30 minutes you can go back. But back in the day I was always amazed at that because it's like really like the pictures are already out here on display. We can already pick out the ones you want to buy and like, how the heck did they do that? Like, where is a developing center? Like, is there one nearby? Like, did they just run there, have it develop, come back before the event ends? I mean, that was kind of crazy. But apparently those guys found a way. Because it's those are a lot of pictures, right? Imagine if it's a graduation ceremony and they have to take a picture of all the students and the parents too while
right.
we're watching, and then you go outside of the whatever the function room or the function hall or the event hall, and you see all the pictures there already on display, and you can and they're even like in a plastic, and it's like 3 for 100. And what most people do is that they actually buy the pictures that they don't look good in it because they don't want the other people to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're
Oh,
browsing through the
really?
photos,
Really?
that's what people,
Oh, I'll
especially
buy this.
women, especially like
Really?
I remember back in the day I attended I think a graduation of an ex or something, and she was like, "Hey, buy that, bilhin mo yan," because like she doesn't want her picture there because if you don't buy it, it will be on full display for other people to see. And the guys are not conscious about it, but women are very conscious. So she'd be like, "Bilhin mo yan, bilhin." So I just ended up buying it, even though she didn't like the pictures because she didn't look good in it, but she wanted it taken out of the spread because obviously your
They would just
batch mates will
recycle
see
it.
it.
I think they would just recycle it. I mean,
The
your
fat,
fear should
I mean,
be if someone bought it, you know, and
and it
waited for
wasn't the
years
yeah
to release
yeah
it.
yeah
Like, ha ha ha! You look funny here.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know that's
It's
why
a
you have to
prank or
beat them
something.
to it and buy it
That can
first.
happen, right? Yeah.
That's why you have to buy it first so you can get rid of it. Okay, here's the thing. What if I don't? I wonder if those manung maninios, like not that I ever did it, but just a thought. Like what if you had a crush on a girl and you were just there and you're looking and you see her pictures there and it's for
Yeah, you
sale?
can buy it.
Would the manung would
Yeah, they
they
would
would
sell it
sell
to
it?
you.
They would sell it. Oh,
Yeah,
really?
they have
Wow.
no way of knowing if you're a cousin or a
That's
neighbor
true.
or like a
Or a
kuya.
stalker or a
Really?
maniakis.
Yeah, they don't care. I
That's true.
mean,
That's true.
right? Sure, you
That's
want this
true.
picture? Yeah, whatever. I mean,
It's not like, yeah,
yeah,
that's true. It's money for them. Yeah.
business is business.
It's
If you have
so
the
too
money, I'll
bad
give
for
you the product,
yeah,
right?
it's like, oh, oh, that's my crush. Because people have to understand. For those who are young and didn't have these experiences that we had, you have the luxury of like, if let's say you're attracted to a girl or you have a crush on somebody, you can just go on their Facebook or Instagram, and they will like gladly post pictures of themselves, some even in two piece or whatever, and it's yours for whatever. And you can like literally like grab those photos if you want and have
Hmm.
an album of your own. If you're like a stalker type of person, but back in the day, you have to understand if you had a crush on a girl, I mean, the next best thing to having her as your girlfriend is having a copy of her photo specifically asking her for one and with a dedication at the back. So as cheesy as it sounds, that was how we rolled back then. And usually, a lot of the guys I was friends with, they would have the pictures of their crushes on their wallets. And usually we would tease them if there was no dedication at the back. It's like, you stole that, or her friend just gave that to you, or whatever. That's not directly from her. So you kind of have to have proof and have to have like a dedication at the back. And usually you would even kind of, you know, you
Fake
would
it,
even kind
like
of yeah, well, not hopefully nobody did that. But what I'm saying is it's usually becomes a basis for like your chances with a girl, or if you have any at all. Like she says something like, "Oh, you're such a great friend. Or you're like a brother to me." But if there's like a heart, or if there's like a TCCIC or something like that, or some kind of like
take
indicator
care
that
because I
you
care.
know, yeah, or XOXO, whatever the heck, right? Um, it's like a big deal. But if it's like an outright like, "Oh, thank you, you're so nice, you're like a brother to me," or "Hey, best friend," or something like that, you kind of don't really want to show that to your friends if that's the dedication that's in the picture, because she's literally like dumping you outright just from that statement,
Yeah,
even
that was a
though
thing back then,
you know
right? Like exchanging
it was
pictures.
a thing. It was a thing,
Oh, I
dude. I
okay,
had an
go. I
album
give you my
of
picture. Give me a picture. Put some
that's
dedication
why it
in
was
it.
such a big deal. That's why these photo studios, all these photo studios, you name it, they all made money from the 104 pictures, three little wallet size packages. Back in the
I
day, it
know,
was a
right,
package
Patrick?
thing.
It's been a long time. Me too. That's the
Been a
first
long
time I
time.
heard
DCCIC.
since I don't know, maybe
And
in the '90s. Take care because I
you,
care.
you know you know where I got that dedication from, Ice?
Where?
From
Who?
from what from an ex who and
From
she
an
it was
ex.
she ex of mine. She gave it to
Right.
me.
Whom I know.
She gave it the picture, but she wasn't my girlfriend yet at the time. I asked her for a
Right.
picture, and then she gave that to me, and that was the dedication at the end. There's TCCIC, and then she ended up becoming my girlfriend. But I don't know if that was a good sign. So TCCIC could be a good sign. But I did ask her. I remember asking her for a picture. She gave me a picture, and I can't remember everything else I was in there, but I just remember at the end part it was TCCIC. There was a little heart. So I remember that was the only time I ever got that you know that what is that called? What is that called?
Dedication.
The sincere
Dedication.
what? The
A dedication.
sincerely that's called dedication. Is that what it is? Like
Okay.
the end, the
Like
closing thing,
the
like
letter.
sincerely. Yeah,
No,
yeah, like a
that's your closing
um
remarks, I guess.
yeah,
Hang on.
it's like just like a one
I
word.
taught
Usually
that
it's just one
subject. What
word.
the heck?
I know it's in business, right? I know, but it's in
Yeah.
English. It's in yeah.
Man, that was like 2002. Hang on.
God, even earlier for me.
Parts of the letter. Parts of a letter. All
Closing
right.
remarks. What the heck is it?
Parts of a letter. Salutation? No, it's not salutation. Salutation's like,
No, that's the opening.
um, yeah, that's the opening. Hang on. I think it's closing. Hang on. It should be closing. Come on. See, close. It's close. Hang
That's
on.
it. Close. All right, got it.
Um,
So
signature. Sincerely, signature. No, I'm like, hang on. Isn't that it? Parts of the letter. All right. Writing sample, closing, body,
all right, hold
signature,
up. I just
leading.
gotta wipe my kid's butt. All right, I'll be back.
All right. See, it's closing. Not closing remarks though, but it's closing. All right. But it's close. See, I taught the subject back then, 2002, almost 20 years ago. So yeah, forgive me if I forgot. It's actually date, greeting, body, closing, then signature. Right, not closing remarks. Closing. All right. Okay. So yeah, we're talking about technology that nobody uses anymore, like the Betamax, VHS, even VCDs. Right? I mean, yeah, VCDs were a thing back then, but no, nobody uses VCDs anymore. At least I think Blu-ray. There's still people who who watches Blu-ray or maybe even DVDs. But come on, man, we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have all these streaming services. I mean, if you have a DVD player, that means you have to buy DVDs, right? You have to buy DVDs. You have to you stack them up. You have to find a place where to put it, where to stock it, and you have to take care of it. I mean, if you have kids, that would be terrible. I mean, you have to keep on looking after your kids, and you have to keep on telling them that do not touch my DVDs or do not touch my VCDs, do not scratch them or whatever. You need to be on the lookout. I mean, that sucks, right? I mean, with streaming services, you don't have to look after your kids. You don't have to worry about your kids ruining it or destroying it. Patrick saying VCDs suck. You need two discs to watch a movie. Yes, yes, you have a point. You need two VCDs, and if it's a really really long movie, if it's a really really long film, sometimes it's like four CDs. I remember like Saving Private Ryan. That's four CDs, man. Saving Private Ryan, four CDs. I'm sure of that. Others would be. I think you would need like three, but the really long ones like Schindler's List, that's four CDs. If you're watching through a VCD, holy crap! Um, so imagine if you put them in a VHS. I mean, would it fit a 3 hour film? I don't know, man. But yeah, Titanic. Really? Titanic had more? Like how many more? Like more than four? Holy shit! I don't remember. Yeah, that movie was kind of long. Yeah, it was quite long. Titanic. Yeah, Schindler's List, Titanic. I don't know about the Matrix. The Matrix, I think, had like three CDs. That was quite long too, at least 2 hours plus. Titanic. How long was Titanic? Was it 3 hours? I remember it was long. I remember watching it, and it took a while to finish it, but it was quite a it had an impact on me, so I didn't really notice. But I remember it was quite long. Anyway, okay, so VHS, VCDs, what else? Walkmans, even CD mans now. Like nobody uses them anymore. We have our phones. We even have like those Bluetooth headphones. What else? All right, Rod's back. What are other technologies that we don't use anymore? Typewriters. Nobody uses typewriters
Typewriter,
anymore.
yeah,
Right?
typewriters, typewriter, true,
Back then, you need a
typewriters.
typewriter. If you have
Um,
projects, if you have school reports, if you have thesis and whatnot, you go to Bolton, and that's where you take all the things
mhm,
that you jotted down, and you're like, "Can you like type this?"
mhm.
And they'd be like,
Those guys, no, no,
"Wow,
those guys don't even use QWERTY, dude. They just, I mean, they just go like this, but they're super fast. If you observe them, there's this big like dude there. There's this big dark dude who doesn't look like he can type, but he just sits there and he goes. It's super fast, like he literally like one finger zone. And I don't know, it blows me away. I don't know what's with the internet connection, man. Anyway,
yeah."
so all right.
Vinyl and CDs
So,
are making a
anyways,
comeback though
yeah,
because of the sound
typewriters.
quality. All right, okay. Do you have
Okay,
vinyl?
I
Do you have
got
vinyl
that.
records,
Okay,
Rod?
what about the well there are still records, there are still enthusiasts for that. What about this is something that only the rich folks had back in the day. And I know here in Davao, the only
Laser
friend I remember.
discs.
Okay, see, internet is screwy.
You're doing it again.
All right. Patrick, can you still see me? Am I still on? Is I
You're
still on? I
blurry.
mean,
You're like a
or
ghost.
because
I can see myself clearly, but
it
can you
might
see yourself clearly?
Yeah. Can you see me?
I can see you a bit blurry, but yeah, I can see you. But can you hear me? Because I've been asking you questions and you're not answering.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, but you disappeared for like a while. You were like going like this. So it's like it's
All right,
weird
that's why. All
because
right.
I know it's my internet. I know my internet's the problem, but I don't know why I can see myself and then I can't see you. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
weird.
Mm-hmm. It is weird.
So anyway, yeah, it's kind of weird. Not just this new faucet, CJ.
Not the whole sink.
So anyway,
They just replaced the faucet.
so we no, I can see just like new sink. Like he's looking behind me. You see that see that that's a faucet right there. So
All right.
anyway,
Okay. Let's see.
um, so we're talking about the fun. So I was talking about like this was something that only rich people had back in the day, and I only had one friend that, as far as I can remember, had an actual player, and they were actually like they had a collection of like
What player?
these things, and it was the
Okay.
laser
What
disc.
player are we talking about?
So if you guys
Okay,
remember
laser
laser
disc.
disc,
Knew it.
it was like
Knew
a
it.
size of a
Yes.
vinyl record.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The laser disc player. And
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
Paulo,
It's
Paulo Tapia,
delayed.
my friend Carlo and
It's
Paulo Tapia.
it's delayed. All right. Okay. All
I
right.
said it
Hang on.
was
All right.
delayed.
Okay. Well, let's roll with it. Yeah, because I asked you that
Okay, hold on.
like way back. But anyway, all right. It's okay. All right. Yeah. So Polytopia, they had the laser disc, right?
Really? Look, what did you ask me? The name? See, you're stopping
See.
again. This is
See.
weird.
I mean, I asked you
Okay,
that like 20 seconds ago, and I just heard.
what did you ask me?
I mean, the that question that
Okay,
you
hold on,
answered
hold on.
just
Ask me a
right
question.
there.
Ask me a question now. Ask me a question now.
Polytopia had a laser disc.
Yes.
Man, that took like 3 seconds.
See, you're stopping again. Dude, you were like, you know what happened? You were like, Paulo Tapia, the laser disc, and you were like, you froze. You literally froze going like this on my screen. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. I want to know. All right. So for people like CJ, Patrick, people out there, I want to know what's going on. Are we both screwy? I'm assuming it's just, yeah. See, it's just me. Yeah, Gab, I'm pregnant. Yeah, I'm pregnant.
Yes, he's pregnant.
Gab's
Finally,
delayed ka, Rad. Yeah.
finally
Buntis ako, bro.
answered prayer. Answered prayer.
Yes, the internet. CJ, how is your internet? Because I want to know. You bro, ping difference. Okay, I don't know what's going on. All right, because it happened to my son too. He got disconnected. Now, we don't know if it's our router or if it's generally internet in general that it just like cuts off on and off. Because if there's something wrong with our router, I'm gonna have to report this and have to get that serviced or reset or whatever. But it's weird because, like I said, internet speed is okay. I'm gonna check my internet speed. All right, just so you know, let's check internet
Right.
speed. My internet speed is because see, it's going crazy. It's like super slow. Like it's not, it's erratic. It's weird. So people are being, I don't know what's going on. Okay, now it's just like it's super slow. The ping is getting higher lately. Kind of okay. It's just laggy for gaming lately. It's probably PLDT issue. Okay, see, you have PLDT. Is that what you have too? You have fiber. PLDT fiber. Is that what you're having as well? Anybody else having problems with PLDT right now? Who happens to be watching the show? Because it's really getting frustrating. And I know that there are people are always saying, try this, try that, try this. But you know what? What I notice about these like internet service providers is that they will say that, and then when you get connected it's super fast, like maybe the first month, and then we all go through issues. Like I've never seen anybody online not complain about their internet service provider
Internet.
regardless who
Right.
their internet service provider is. So you know um I don't want to have to go through that where I transfer and then expecting it's going to be better, but it's not. Japan,
Mhm.
obviously first world countries, they don't have issues like this, but here in the Philippines we
No.
I just remember in the States, my sister would have issues with the internet. they would call the internet service provider, and like literally 30 minutes or less, the guy's there already fixing their router. Like he's there already. Like literally they have people just waiting around for complaints, and they just show up after 30 minutes. Here you have a waiting number. So that's the thing. Um so I don't know. I just want to know if I just want to know if it's the problem is with my router or if it's with the network. That's really what's important, because if you know that everyone else is going through it, then you kind of calm down a little bit, you know. But if it's my router and I'm just like everyone else is doing fine, then I should get the router fixed. So Gab, what's your take on it? It's probably both. Well, that doesn't help. It's both. What the
Right.
heck? Yeah, well, I guess it's a lose-lose situation. Anyway, let's deal with what we have. So far, I think if people can see this and I'm not freezing and it's not delayed, let's continue with the show. So more stuff that's now defunct or that people don't use anymore. Stuff that we used to, back in the day. Typewriters was I think the last one mentioned. Oh my god. Yeah, iPod, MP3 players. No one deals with that anymore. What about those screen things that? Okay, I know it's not necessarily like a per se a gadget or whatever, but it's this thing that you put on the monitor. It's supposed to
Hmm.
like block the UV rays or whatever the heck it is. I don't know if you remember that, but when you go to an internet cafe, usually they have this like screen that they put like, like it's like almost like a screen protector, but it's meant to protect the person using the computer, the monitor. I don't know what that's called.
Right.
I don't see that anymore. MP3 players are coming back since streaming music has been getting sucky. Okay. Now, don't people have music on their phones? Um,
True.
how does it work for Android phones? What's your player? What player do you have? If you're Android, because then it wouldn't be. Oh, the eye coolers. We also have that on our TV back in the day. Oh, that's what they're called. My god, the internet is terrible. What's going on?
Is blue light and
And
eye
it's usually at
coolers
this time of the night.
do
See, mine's
they
like
have the
it
same
says,
technology? Because now we have the
yeah,
blue light, like glasses, like you just wear blue light glasses, and that I think that's what they say. It protects you from like whatever that is from your phone. Like it protects your eyes or something from radiation. I don't know. So they have those blue light. Like I see every time I buy my reading glasses, there's always like, oh, it's with blue light. Like, what's this blue light thing? Then now, if you go on Amazon, they have like glasses that's just purely blue light. If you're on the computer for a long time, they advise you to wear blue light glasses. So it reduces the strain to your eyes. So what is that? Is that anti radiation or something? But that's what it's for, right? To reduce the strain in that's
yeah,
causing your eyes to go bad or something. So yeah, so I let Snow use, like I bought her like those blue light glasses, because sometimes like on the weekend she binge on stuff, and sometimes she like really like have this have her iPad really close. So I don't know, like does Raj have that, the blue light glasses?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it became like a fad among his schoolmates. I don't know, because at first I thought some of his schoolmates, some of his classmates had eyesight problems. I'm like, oh, anyways, that's screwy. But anyway, just bear with me. So I was like, oh man, they're so young, they're wearing glasses already. And then my wifey said, no, they use that. Apparently, it's like for the computer or from whatever, if you're on a mobile phone or whatever. It's like you use that to protect your eyes from the screen, whatever rays it emits. And so we got Raj. She bought two for Raj, I think, and they're cheap. They're like little plastic, like goggle looking almost things. And yeah, I mean, this is super delayed, man. This is crazy.
It is. It is.
Don't play in the dark. Most ice trains are caused by not enough background lighting. Oh wow, really, Siege? Is
I think that's true.
that has
Some
an
eyeglasses
effect?
have that blue light filter on top of the prescription lenses. Yes, like this one, it has blue light curva, whatever. Right. So I was like, I didn't even know about blue light until I started, like needing those reading glasses. And I was like, what's this? Oh, it's blue light. It's blue light cut. Blue light cut. What the hell is a blue light cut? Oh, it protects you from, like the screen, uh, from your phone or, like iPads, computers. Like, oh, really? All right. All right. Okay, cool. I'll get them. But yeah, blue light cut glasses, right? If yeah, it probably works. Better safe than sorry. Rod, you still there? You're not moving. And I'm pretty sure you're going to disappear in a few seconds. Well, those glasses do work for blue light a bit, but most strains are caused by basically having the screen really bright and your surroundings not bright at all. Right. So you can't be reading in the dark, right? So you have to have the lights on when you're on your phone or when you're watching your iPad or whatever. So is it the same thing when you're watching TV? Does that mean I have to turn the lights on when I'm watching TV, like my actual TV? I have like a 54-inch, no, no, 55-inch screen TV, but I don't really sit close to the TV. It's probably about like like I'm 2.5 meters away. Or should I say 2 meters away? Right? So does that mean I need the lights on when I'm watching TV? Because I always have it turned off, or I just have the lights. No, no, the lamp lights on. It's not that bright though. Does the same principle apply? Especially with phones, especially with phones that has the HDR enabled with eye searing levels of brightness. Right. Holy crap. Yes, you're right, Patrick. iPhone 13, right? That's like HDR. That's bad for your eyes, right? Okay, exactly like reading. Yeah, personally, I think it's good enough since it boosts the experience and since it's a large screen, light is spread out. All right. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, with TV too. I mean, now the TVs are so different. They're lighter, they're bigger. Like back then, if you have a 21-inch TV, that's already really big. I remember having those 10-inch or 12-inch TV. Um, Now there's just like 100-inch whatever. You go to these appliance centers and you see these big ass TV, and I thought 50 was already big, right? Because I remember my sister in law having a 40-inch TV, and I thought that was really big already. This was what 2008, about 13, 14 years ago, and now I have a 55-inch TV, and it seems small. It seems small to me now. Back then, a 21-inch TV is really big. It was really big for me. But now I have a 55-inch TV in my living room. It looks small. I'm like, this TV is small. Technology, right? It's crazy. Yes, it feels small. It feels like you have a 16-inch or 15-inch TV. I can see you. I can see that you're fuming right now. I can see the smoke coming out of your ears and your nose, and it's still even delayed. Reaction. Holy crap! It's getting worse, man. Patrick, right?
I heard you, man. But it gets cut off. Uh,
All right,
There
he
you
froze
go.
again. All right, okay, you're back. Yeah, with the fact that everything is only getting bigger, we can say it's getting smaller too. I think so, right? We were just talking about televisions,
Uh,
and
yeah.
that's
Um,
say a
the
21
thing
inch
with
TV
TV
is
though getting
considered.
big, it's really like it's it's so bad. Internet is so bad.
All right, let's wrap it up though. Then it's already 11:19, anyways. All right, let's wrap it up. We don't want to torture listeners. We'll maybe we'll
11?
do a.
It's not
It's
eleven
no.
nineteen.
No, it's 11:19 in
Oh,
my
it is for you.
where
It
where
is for you.
where
It is for
where
you.
I
Yeah,
am.
yeah, it is for you.
Yeah, it's
You freak me
11:19.
out.
Okay, that 1 hour difference, dude, that makes a lot of difference. It's
Yeah,
just an hour, but
this
every
is
time I go
terrible,
back
man.
to the Philippines, it's just it
It
feels
does. It
like it's
does.
so early all the time. Like I would be at Starbucks and I'd be sitting there like just lounging and chilling, and I'd be like, "What? It's still 5? Oh my god!" And I would stay there for an hour more, and it felt like it's already been 4 hours. I have no idea why. Japan, for some reason, time flies so fast. Look at your watch; it's like, oh, 6. Next thing you know, it's already 8. Like what? And you're not even done with whatever it is that you have to do. It's just crazy.
It is. It is.
Hey, Patrick. Yeah, Patrick, you are an hour advanced, right? You're an hour ahead. Um, you're an hour ahead of Japan, right? Because we are an hour ahead of the Philippines, and you're an hour ahead of like, yeah.
Relative, he said 3 hours relative to Philippines. So
All right. So
probably
isn't it
could only
2?
be 2 hours, right?
Right? Because like an hour, it should be an hour. Because we have that in our sort of English class, and oh, it's 6, it's 7 in, for example, it's 7 in Japan. It's like, oh, it's 8 a.m. in Australia, or it probably depends where in Australia you're located. All right. You're what? You're at Melbourne? Are you at Sydney? Ah, daylight savings is in effect. That's why. That's why daylight savings time. It's in effect. That yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Now 2 hours, not 1 hour. 2 hours now because it's summer there. Victoria Plaza. Lousy joke. All right. Okay. So yeah. Man, my knee hurts. Okay.
Old age,
Let's
slow
wrap it.
internet. What the heck's going on?
I know. I know. Is there a PT listening right now? I want to ask about
Yeah,
IT band issues.
having crappy internet is like it teases you. I'd really rather have probably no internet because then at least your hopes are not built up. It's like a girl giving you hope, you know?
Right. One
It's
step
basically what
forward,
it
two steps
is.
backward.
And
Boxing is
exactly.
good though.
That's what it
Where's this
is.
coming from?
That's what it is. Um Boxing is good though. What is God, that analogy was so spot on. What are you talking about? The girl thing? It's like giving you hope. Yeah, I'd rather be dumped right away. You know, we had that topic. CJ wasn't on board though. Remember when we had that topic about like break it to me gentle or baby, don't you break my heart slow?
Right. See, that's the thing, CJ.
It's like,
Here's what
yeah,
I,
you know,
like, here's what I said. Like what I said back then. I mean, don't don't rush the yes.
and
Sometimes some people really rush the yes. Just. I mean, if you're hanging out with a girl, if you're eating together, if you're going to places together, I mean, isn't that enough? I mean, yeah, if you want to kiss her, then you just have to wait a little bit longer. And it's probably going to get there. You just have to wait a little bit longer. I mean, it takes time. Trust takes time. Love takes time too. But if you want to get that yes immediately, then of course girls are like, I mean, yeah, now they say like, I don't know, man. I mean, now it's just like the dating scene now has changed drastically because of this I don't know, like this Me Too thing and feminists and whatnot. It's just crazy. But I mean, romance. I mean, if you ask me, you just have to wait. I mean, what's
to
important is you're with a
what
person. You're
you
you're doing
said,
stuff together. That's fine.
what you're saying just makes perfect sense, man. I wish we knew each other back then when I was like courting girls and like forcing them to say yes to me because when you said that, when you said, what's the difference if you're having fun, if you're as long as with her, what's the rush for the commitment? You know what? That makes perfect sense because it's true. Because if you like the girl, you're having a good time hanging out with her, and whether it's not like it's a guaranteed sex or whatever if she becomes your girlfriend. So that actually made perfect sense. And if you were my friend back in the day, and you probably and you said that to me, and you were
Mhm.
like, dude, there's no, as long as she welcomes you to her house, or she gets to hang out with you, then it's like, that would be a wake up thing for me. I think my response to that is, yeah, I would probably not rush it, because that makes perfect sense. That as long as she lets you spend time with her without the commitment, because that's where she feels comfortable, then I guess it doesn't make a difference, because at least you get to hang out with a girl that you like, or that you are attracted to. But I think the fear, like for me, the fear that would come in would be that if another guy beats me to it, like, what if one day,
But here's the thing.
like,
Here's
okay,
the
I'll
thing.
take
I
that,
know.
and then
I
one
know.
day she'll be like, okay, someone's courting me, and I like
Yeah,
him,
that's what.
and
Yeah.
you know,
So here's the
like
thing.
it's
When
kind of
people
like,
are
it's because
looking,
you always feel like it's competition.
that's your. Yeah. It's. I understand that fear, but what you forgot, or what you're forgetting is, if you're hanging out with that girl constantly, people would think that you're with her, right? So guys would think twice getting into the scene. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, they would assume. Guys would assume that she's your girl. They would assume that, not unless they ask her. And she'd probably like, well, not really. Then that's the time when they start doing stuff. But then you already have that advantage because you've been with her for quite a while. So they're just like starting. So that means you know how to, you know what I'm saying? You know how to get around stuff in terms of, I mean, your relationship and whatnot. I mean, how to deal with her when she's mad, how to deal with her when she's hungry, how to deal with her when she's happy, how to deal with her when she's having like sister problems or parent problems. So it's you have that advantage. I mean, these guys would come in slowly, but I mean, what can they really do? You've been around for like for a long time, and they would probably be discouraged because like maybe he's been
Yeah,
there, he's
yeah.
been in the game for a longer time. Like I
I
just probably
agree with
quit.
I agree with that statement. I mean, I totally agree that you get that advantage where people might assume that, okay, you guys are dating, and
Yeah.
that
Okay.
you're the
Case in point.
boyfriend, so
Case in point.
they won't
With
make their move. But dude, I
mm,
just remember,
remember your wife? You asked me. Like if you didn't
yeah,
ask me, you wouldn't even know. You just assumed that she was
yeah,
on my radar. You're right. So that I mean that was the thing. But you asked me, and you're like,
you're
dude,
right.
are
No,
you
no, I
like
never
dating this
saw. Did
guy?
I? No,
Your girl?
wait, when I asked you when I asked you, was this like, okay? When I asked you, was this after the one at the station when I saw her?
I think you've seen her like a couple of times already because they were regulars. Her and Marvin, right? So they've been visiting the station, and I think you spotted her, and
Yeah,
you probably wondered because right, 'cause she was like, all
yeah,
right, she's here constantly, so what is she doing here? So I think you approached me and you asked me like,
yeah,
dude, are you dating this girl? And I'm like, not really. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
are you
yeah.
are you gonna make a move on her? I'm like, no. I'm like, is it okay if
Yeah,
I make a
usually I
move
would
on her? I'm
ask
like, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you asked that. You did ask
Usually
me.
I
I was
would
like, yeah, yeah,
ask
sure.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he was
Yeah,
like,
I don't
really?
I
It's
don't
fine. I'm like,
recall
no, it's
exactly
fine.
how I asked you. I just
No,
remember.
those were the
I don't,
questions. The questions were, are you dating her? Like, no. Are you making a move on her? No. Is it okay if I make a move on her? It's fine. Are you sure? Those are like four questions. Yes, it's fine. Then the next thing you know,
actually,
I saw her. I saw her at the party with you. I'm like, all right, there you go. He made his move.
no, no, here's the thing. Those questions you just mentioned, those are
Right.
frequently asked questions, or FAQs at Kilo B. It's
Oh yeah, that's
right
true.
amongst
That's
all
true.
of us. I'm sure Chuck
Right.
asked you too. I'm sure Billy Kane has asked you that question, or whoever has asked you that question back in the day too. I mean, it's usually a thing with us. Like, it's a DJ thing. Like at the studio, we're always
Right.
like,
Right.
if somebody brings in
True.
somebody, we're always like, dude, like,
Right.
or
You
or
just
sometimes we'd be
assume
like,
because you just
yeah,
like so it's the same thing. Like if you see somebody in school and they're with someone, you'd like assume like, oh, that's probably the boyfriend, right? So I mean,
yeah,
me,
yeah, yeah.
that was my thing. I was like, right. I mean, I'm the one with her, so I mean, there were times that I would get frustrated
No, no,
because
but
okay, mhm,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I mean, just to pick up from where you left off when you mentioned that, yeah, you can be mistaken as because I remember when I was still in Ateneo, we would sit by finance, right, where we pay the tuition or we pay
Finance
the
building.
thing for our
Yes.
exam
Yes.
permit. Yeah,
Right.
that like that
Yeah,
elevated
we stay there
thing
too.
there, that
Yeah.
elevated platform, whatever. We would all
Dude, that's a
sit there, right,
spot. That's a
and with
spot.
my with
That's it.
my yeah with my
Look
barcadas,
for girls.
and
Yes.
especially during Wednesdays,
Yes.
especially during Wednesdays,
Wash day. Wash
and
day. Yeah.
I remember. I right. I know I'm getting. I know I'm getting cut off. Yeah, watch day Wednesday, and I remember recalling having conversations with my friends, and we would always be like looking at pretty girls with their guy friends, and we would always be like, "Uyab na ba? Uyab na? Di na." We would and we would always kind of like diss the guy because we could always kind of tell like we would even like whisper like we would always like, "Oh yeah, akbay do akbay do." Yeah, like we would say stuff like we would tease him. So I don't want to be that guy, like I don't want to be that guy who's like, unless I was
Okay.
gay and I was like the gay
Okay.
friend,
Hang on.
then that
Okay.
right. So I didn't want to
Okay.
be
My
that guy.
question.
I don't.
Okay. My question to you is: would you want to be the guy sitting at the finance building, just fantasizing being with that girl, or you want to be with that guy walking along with that girl? I would pick that guy specific, like situation. Like, yeah, anytime, dude. Like, you stay there. You can
Yep.
talk behind my back all you want. I'm with her. At the end of the day, we're hanging out.
That's PLDT gave Uncle Rod the clearance to get good point. No, I'm not getting a good clearance. I don't know why. I've been a I've been a loyal client, and I pay my bills on time. But anyways, you can't argue with technology, man. They always have an excuse. That's the thing with technology. There's always an excuse. But anyways, yeah, so good point. Good point. Like, if you would you rather be the guy who's like sitting there looking at your crush, or would you rather be the guy with your crush, regardless of whether they're dating or not? Now, that's a good question. But we had this conversation before, and I remember I would always say that I was an all or nothing guy. I really
Yes,
was an
you're
all or
all or
nothing guy
nothing.
because if I was with a girl and she wasn't mine, it's like dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit. That's kind of like how it is for me. Like literally, it's like I can't like you have a friend mode. You can turn your friend mode on and you're fine. It's easy for you to do that. You're like, okay, I'm happy. I'm good. You're you can be that's why you have a lot of women friends, because you can be non-malicious if you choose to not be, but you can also be the super maniakis if you choose to be so. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like two
Okay.
sides to Iceman. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not saying that maniakis, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just
I get
saying,
your
like,
point. Your point. But my question is like, well, do you go manyakis mode all the time? I mean, you can't be manyakis when you're like at the finance
no,
building.
no, no, no.
If
I'm
you're
not talking about
if
no,
you're
no.
along the
I mean,
corners,
that's
you
not
can't be manyakis
that,
there.
that, yeah, that's the thing. But it's just like I'm not saying like when I like I want to like make love, go to bed with her. Not necessarily that way, but it's like it's like if I'm attracted to a girl, it's like I said, it's all or nothing. Like, you know how it gets awkward for me. Like, you know how sometimes you become chope when
You
you're
know,
with your crush. Like,
every
if your crush is there, you can't really like when your crush is there, you do
okay,
stupid things. Like, yeah, you can keep
okay.
it calm. Like, you could be with
When
your
you say
crush and you
all
can
or
still be
nothing,
like,
I'm picturing Paquito Diaz or Max Alvarado or Romy Diaz. They're like
Dick
all or
Israel,
nothing.
Dick Israel.
Big Israel. And you're like roping the girl. Ano ba yan? Yun na. Bigay mo na.
I mean, like I said, I don't need like. I'm not saying that that's what I mean. I know it's a
It's an
harsh
art.
word to use, but like, yeah. I mean, you
See,
can keep it
Jeboy gets
cool. See,
it.
that's why you're called Iceman, because if you're with even no, because you're Iceman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can keep it cool. Like, if you're with a girl that you like so much, like I've heard you talk about girls who you've had the biggest crushes on. Like, you had this crush from back in high school, maybe. I don't remember you mentioning this girl's name all the time, but she was also one of your bestest friends. And you would even communicate when she already lived elsewhere. I forgot, but I know her name starts with okay, E. All right. I'm not gonna mention the name.
Yeah, Emmy.
But
Yeah,
remember this
Emmy,
girl you
Emmy.
mentioned, right?
No, no,
And
she's
she was
cool.
also your
Yeah, Emmy, Emmy.
friend. Yeah, but she was
She's still my
also
friend.
like your friend. I remember even you showing me a picture. I think she was married, or I don't know if she got married. But anyway, and but she's also your friend, and she really also like you guys are good friends. Like, and I can never be good friends with like a girl I really like. I don't know why. It's just I don't act normally. Like if I really like her, I always have this like. parang pa-cool
Well,
thing.
it
And
has to
I
do.
think that's some.
It also has something to
But
do with
you
her being a nice person. Right? It's not just I mean,
okay.
yeah, we had that history, but she's also a nice person. She's. I mean, there are also women that I've had like a bit of history with, and I don't talk to them anymore because they have a different. You know what I'm saying? They have a different personality. But with Emmy, she's just lovely. She's just
Okay, there you
she's just really
mentioned, yeah.
nice.
So it's cool.
So it's it's that's why it's that. But yeah, it depends on the person though. But then like in terms
Oh my
of
god. That even
like I
makes it
said,
harder for me. It is even gonna make it harder for me if she's nice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my god, I
probably
like
yeah,
her, just
probably
nice.
yeah.
But but see, that's the thing. That's why you're called Iceman. Okay, now I know why you're called Iceman. See that now people because it's not every day that you meet a guy who can keep it cool in front of a girl that you because if it were me and I was in front of a girl that I really like, I would be like, dude, I mean, th- that's
All or
probably
nothing. All or nothing.
that's
In the
probably
end,
you
in
know
the
what
end, in the end.
I I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the girl. I think this is what happened with my history with courting girls. The girls would dump me. Probably saw that side of me, whatever it was, that side of me that showed up whenever I see a girl I like, and like totally saw me like that guy's a jerk, or this guy's like a show off, or this guy's like whatever. But and the girls who did date me after seeing that side of me probably just like jerks. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't like, I'm not saying I'm a jerk, but I mean, what I'm saying is it's not like you where you're consistent with your personality. I have a hard time. I have this fear that if I'm like, you know, yeah, I have all these fears that if I show this side of me to a girl on a first meeting, she's gonna get turned off, or because I'm not like, man, you're dude, you're a good listener. You can engage a person in a conversation and they don't think beyond it, like you're animated and I don't know, maybe it's charisma, dude. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly not something that I have. Like, I don't necessarily end up saying the words, like maybe I'll say it and it's not as funny as when you say it. You get me? Like,
Hmm.
maybe we'll tell the same joke, and
Well,
if you
chemistry
say
has
it,
something to
it's
do with it
funny.
too.
Like, yep, yeah, probably, but I can
Because
see
there are
it.
like
You know what I'm
times that
saying?
I'm
Like,
with
we've
the.
been to.
All right, okay. Mhm. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
you know
was
what I'm
saying
saying?
that
Like, yeah, yeah.
if you're with a woman and your chemistry is good, all the jokes, all the other things that you wanted to say, they come out funny. They come out really like witty. But there are also times that if there's there's no good chemistry, everything just sucks. So I mean, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay. So
But
my question with you
Have you ever read
here
the
is,
game? Have you ever read the game? I told you about that book, right?
I,
Have you
I
ever read
s- I
that?
started reading it. I actually have it on my phone. I started reading it, and it's like
Some of the
it's
points
talking
there were
about some
actually really
dude.
good.
It's like a story. It's like a story of like a guy's like there's this dude that he's talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
That's the
Right,
start. That's
yeah.
how it
So
starts, right? Like,
I mean, not
forgot the
all
guy's
of it,
name,
but
but there's this guy that he's
there are like
supposed.
things there that you can really get, like good points um
I mean, okay, so
from,
here's the
and
thing though. Like, you mentioned
through a
chemistry.
certain book.
Now you mentioned chemistry, and here's my concern about chemistry is because, like, there's chemistry that you can have with a girl, but that chemistry is friendship. There's also chemistry that's sexual. Like, you don't even have to say any words. You're just like horny for each other. There's also chemistry that's like brotherly or sisterly, or like, like you're there to comfort each other. Like I don't think I'm the guy a girl would want to talk to if she needed somebody to accompany her or whatever. You would, because you would probably be that guy, because I would be boring as hell, because I'd be boring, man. Katag, katag. Dude, the
Well,
internet's
my
katag
topic,
katag.
katag-katag na ang topic
Katag,
at
katag.
this. Kitang-katag.
Actually, Dex, pahuman na ni. We're supposed to say bye because my internet's crap.
I posted the
Yeah, we're
wrapping
about
it
to wrap
up
it up.
like 15 minutes ago, but then the internet got better, so we're stuck here. But anyway, yeah, because it's an interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yes,
I'm
yes,
just saying,
I
like,
get your point. I
I'm
get your
just
point.
saying, right? You know what I'm saying? Because like, even my wife, even if you ask my wife, like, I'm a terrible companion. Like, even my wife, I mean, she would probably laugh more if you guys hung out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that for a fact. Like, because you don't complain, you're fine, you can give your time to people. And I'm like, I'm terrible, I'm very selfish. I'm like, I complain a lot, I whine a lot, I get bored easily. And it's like, it's like it's like maayo lang ko sa sugod. That's like something I would describe
No, no,
myself. Maayo lang
but
ko sa
here's the thing.
sugod.
But you can offer other things. See, like
Like
these things I
what?
can offer, these things I can do, but you can
Like
offer
what
other
can I
things, dude. You
offer,
can,
man?
dude. All right, I can never buy them lunch. I can never buy them dinner. You could do that, right?
See, and you think that's an advantage for me that I have to
That's
let
an
my money
advantage.
work? Dude, you
I
don't
mean,
have to
dude,
let
I
it
would.
work for you. You have the advantage. Are you kidding me? If you
Okay,
can
here's the
make a
thing.
woman
Here's
happy
the thing.
without spending, that's the grail. That's the
If you
ticket. What
like
are you
a
talking
person so
about?
much and you want to take her out on a date, you cannot because you don't want to pay for shit. And you're like, you can't even like because the rule, the stupid rule in our country, or at least that's how my impression of it is like it's a rule for guys, or not even for guys, for whoever invites should you know foot the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bill.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's that's the impression that I
Yeah,
have in my
yeah.
mind. So I would,
That's
like,
that's that's
even if
that's a
we're
good that's
hanging
the right
out
impression.
already 2 hours and a half, it's already lunchtime, I would never say like, oh, you want to go eat. I'm just like, oh, let's just keep laughing. I could, I wait until she says like, are you hungry? I'm like, well, I'm
She could be like, she
okay.
could be like going, she could be going like this already, and you'd still be like, oh, like,
Dude, she would, I've had
12
that
na ba
before.
ya,
They would be
ice?
like, I've had it before. They'd be like, "Oh, are you not? Aren't you hungry? Are you like you want to eat?" And you know what my reply is? I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. It's 1 p.m. It's lunchtime, man." And I say like, "I'm fine. I had a hefty breakfast."
Yeah, I guess the term marunong ang Diyos, that term marunong ang Diyos. Like you really can't have everything. And you'd be surprised because, like I said, the people the person you envy might actually be envious of you. We just don't know, because they're what it is that you're lacking is the one that you want. So let's say rich people, or yeah, let's say the super rich people, they're not really like looking at people's Facebook or whatever posts and thinking, oh my god, I wish I had their house, I wish they, because they're rich people, that's not what they see. They see the family, they see probably the laughter, they see those things that they cannot buy. And then us on the other end of the spectrum that don't have the sports cars and don't have whatever, we're looking at people's posts going, God, I wish I had this car. God, that's a nice thing. So I think it's kind of like that's kind of like how it works. But going back to we're talking about chemistry. Like I said, that's the thing I lack. I'm very bad when it comes to friendship with women. I cannot. I don't know what it means. Like you have to teach me, Ice, because you're a natural at it. Like you can switch from this to this. Like
Dexter say,
don't be
"You're so
fooled,
tisoy."
Dex. So, is that a sarcastic remark? Because I know a guy named Ben Tisoy. You know what I'm saying? Ano ba yan? Is that are you trying to be funny? Anong tisoy ano yung
Then say
tisoy
nga
ibig mo sabihin?
ganun.
Okay, I need to turn the light on because I'm getting dark. Ano ba naman yan? Nahulog. Nikat-kat ang lubi, namatay.
See that
Bye!
joke that pissed me
Nanay
off
lubi,
is,
lahing pa man.
no, but the joke that I
Sumakay ng jeep.
the prank that
Nagkabit
I
sa
had,
jeep.
yeah, sumakay ng jeep,
Nagkabit sa jeep.
kumabit, then he fell down. I was like, what the fuck? I thought he actually died. Oh, Filipinos. Oh my God, Pinoy jokes. I hate it.
Lugar lang nung. Anyway.
They're corny, but you can't help yourself. But like, oh my God. All right, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's a bit funny.
It's so stupid that it's funny. It's stupid funny. You know what I'm saying? It's like in other countries probably won't find that funny. They'll probably be like, "What?"
I
But
know,
it's
right?
like,
And like,
but you're right. But anyway, so I'm talking about chemistry. So
all right,
see, that's
okay.
the thing that I lack. Like I said, that's why probably I use courtship as a cover up because I want to go through the shortcut and I don't want to go through the process of being friends because I don't enjoy it. I'm not good at it. I can't. I'm not. I don't have the patience for it.
See, I haven't tried it.
Unlike
That's the
you,
thing, I
dude. Like
guess.
you,
Because I guess you're okay.
I know,
Here's
but
my
like
theory. Here's my take on that. It's because maybe you're the youngest and you live with your grandma
I
and
am the
you always get
youngest.
what you
Yeah.
want, right?
Well, with
You
my
get
with
nice
my
toys,
older sisters, yeah. But I
right?
do have
Then you have the
other sisters.
TV. You have the TV for yourself. you don't have to share food with anybody. So like you're
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
that. So you don't have the
yeah, yeah,
patience to actually wait on things because I'm like, no, I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
do
yeah.
that. Like,
Yes, 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 yeah.
like
Wait on things,
so.
share things.
Yes, yeah, you don't have like that. That's like sort of it takes a lot of that would take a lot for you to actually, it would be an effort to actually
Yeah,
do that. With,
yeah.
with me, I have two brothers. Like
I mean,
sometimes we share underwears for crying out loud.
okay,
So yeah, I'm used to like waiting and
yeah.
whatever, you know what I'm saying? So like
But what is okay?
sharing.
Yeah, okay, let me ask you. If you had the option to like like if you had the option to not do those things, like not have to do those things, share, wait on people, take your turn at the bathroom or whatever it is that you got to do. If you have the option to not do those things, would you prefer that? Because I mean,
Well,
or
I
you know what
don't
I'm saying?
know.
It's like, was there ever a thought in your head? You're like, I wish I didn't have to share my underwear. I wish I didn't have to like, or it was just you're programmed for it. You're
No, I
naturally
was already
just like a
programmed for
patient
it.
person.
So
You're
I don't know. I don't know any other thing. I don't know any other
yeah.
approach to
See,
do it
there you
because
go.
like
Same thing.
it's the same with you, but it takes rewiring. So that's what I'm saying. Like you could rewire yourself if but it would take a lot. It would take a lot of effort, and it would
Yeah,
it would be, yeah, it would be revolutionary, I guess. That would be the word if you get out of it. But
yeah.
yeah, but the
Because
thing is,
I
because
know you. You
you're programmed that way. That's
you
that's the
have a
word.
comfort zone. You have a comfort zone, but I think your comfort zone is a lot broader than mine. Like my comfort zone is like so specific. Your comfort
Right?
zone
Yeah,
is like you can find like you could be in a zone where it's not necessarily your 100% comfort zone, but you'll find something comfortable in that situation. Whereas with me, if it's not my comfort zone, it's not my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? It's like
it's true.
if I'm not if it's not a bed, if it's not a bed, I'm not gonna sleep. You know,
I'm
like
pretty sure. Like
but
I'm pretty sure
you'd be like,
you.
oh, okay na ni bay. Right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Like
It's like,
even with the family dynamics, like with you growing up without your sisters most of the time, and it's kind of different because your wife too, like um she has three brothers, right? So there's four of them, and there's like
yeah,
four of us as
yeah,
well. So I mean that particular dynamic in the family where when you come home there's a lot of people, like you would want to know what happened to your
yeah.
brother's day, your sister's day, and you just like talk it out like during dinner and stuff. So it's kind of noisy and whatever, and I
Bye,
think that's
Dex.
like
Take
sort of a
care.
comfort
This
zone.
late,
Yes.
mamaligya. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, okay, take care, good luck. So it's more of you take comfort in the fact that you're with people, and like you share stuff and whatever. So you don't really get how do I say, like with you it's you have your games, you have your own TV, you like you have to constantly do other things. But with us we have to, like, all right, I have to, because it's you don't want to leave the table because you want to know what's going on with like with your sister or with your brother. You would
Yeah,
want to hear
yeah.
that,
It's
like like
you look for it because yeah, yeah, like for example, like I know what you're saying. Like for example, I'll give you an example, right? Like with my wifey, like she would talk about like how they would wait on each other for when they used the bathroom. She would also talk about after the show, let's talk. When they talk about like using the bathroom, or she would talk about like her brothers having to like, you know, buy different shirts so they can borrow from each other and stuff like that. And I was thinking I was thinking at first like when she would say something like that, or like they would always have to share whatever, that she would say that and like, oh, she wishes maybe she's in a different situation, like she could have her own thing and she could have her own whatever. But you know what? I noticed that when she got married and I took her out of that situation, like not permanently, and her brothers got married too and did their own thing, that they would actually still look for it and they missed it. It's not they didn't
hmm,
look at it as like punishment or like as a bad memory. They would miss it. Like for me, it's like I remember, like if I get together with like my family, I miss it, but it gets old after a while. Like after a while, kanya-kanya na kami. It's like, okay, we've had our talk. Okay, yeah, leave me alone. I'll do my thing now. It's like it's not something that we necessarily like have to do. Whereas with her and her family, she really misses it. Like I'm not taking it against. I'm not saying like, okay, maybe because she's bored with me, or maybe because there's no fun here. But it's just, you're right. She's used to it. She's used to having a lot of people to talk to. She's used to hearing different sides of the story.
Mhm.
She's used to sharing over little food and having a lot of people, because they have their own lives now. But her brother, they all live in different houses, but they would still like get together in my in-laws house, and still like just have this thing that only they can provide for one another, that no one else can kind of be a substitute for. So no matter how hard, let's say maybe I try, or my brother-in-law's wife will try, or whoever, they can never fill that gap. They will still have to spend time with their family, like their
No,
siblings, like
no,
you,
no. That's impossible.
right?
That's
You
about
you
like
can't
see,
find a
my
substitute
wife already
for it,
accepted that.
right?
My wife already accepted that. Like
Oh yeah, I've accepted that a long time ago. I
they
don't have no
like
problem. I don't compete with it. No,
she
I
yeah.
accept it.
See, that's the thing. She doesn't compete with it. She's a part of it now. My wife's a part of it now.
Yeah, me too. I'm a
So
part of it.
so
Actually, I enjoy it.
it's
I
like
mean, I get drunk with my
because you don't have a
brother-in-laws.
choice, and you would slowly understand it, and she understands it because she's not even that close with her sisters, and she doesn't have that kind of relationship that I have with my brothers and my sisters.
Yeah,
Like we could like talk every
yeah,
day and
yeah,
all day, and
yeah,
doesn't even feel like it's like a burden or anything. So
yeah.
she kind of that, and she kind of like
But
understood that. So it's yeah, it's not even that I'm bored with her, but it's just that you just need these people to be around, and
yeah,
we talk about the
there's no
same shit
substitute.
all the
There's no
time.
substitute,
We
right?
talk about the same shit. Like I don't know if you can notice, your wife's probably talking the same shit with her brothers all the time. Like the things that they've
Yeah,
talked about,
their
like
experiences,
yeah,
their
they talk about
neighbors, their
over
province. Yeah,
and
it's the same
over
thing.
again. Like it's
Relatives.
the same. It never gets old. It would be a different angle, but it's
Yeah,
still the same topic, and it happens. It's
yeah,
just yeah. It's I don't know why, but for me, it's sort of like
yeah.
all right. Yeah, I would take that
And
any day.
I noticed also like it it brings out a certain side to her, and and I think it brings out a certain side to all of them as siblings, because they, I don't know if it's how they were brought up, or just because they spent so much time together, or their ages are very close to each other, like they're not really that far apart in age. But I noticed that it brings out a certain side. Like if I'm with them and I join them and we're having a conversation, or it's a party at my in-laws house, and they're having conversations, like she talks a certain way that she doesn't talk with me, you know, or or a certain side of her personality will come out that like I will only see if she's with her family. And
Mhm.
it's not a bad thing. Like it's a different side to her. Like but you know what makes it kind of, what makes her awesome though, like what makes my wife like 10 million times a better person that I am, is that I don't even realize that when she's with my side of the family, or when she's dealing with my situation that I'm used to, she's actually out of her comfort zone and she's adjusting to me. But not once did I ever feel that. Not once did I ever hear her complain about my mom, or hear her complain about me being a loner, or me complaining about, or me bringing her to my dad in Manila, or us going to Bangkok, or whatever, or her spending time with my cousins in the States. Not once did I ever complain about that. And when I think about it, it's a totally different world and situation from what she's used to. But she just has so much to give, and she's so strong and patient that I never even felt that. Whereas with her, she can feel my discomfort. Like she'll know if I'm like, okay, I want to go home now, or I'm bored now, or I don't get the conversation anymore, or I'm out of place, or whatever. She'll always kind of like, she always has to pamper me. Like if she brings me to the province, she'd always be like, okay ka lang, babe. Okay ka lang, babe. Mainit, blah, blah, blah. She's always checking up on me because she knows that it's not something that I'm used
She
to.
knows you're the
But when I
baby.
bring her to my world,
You're the
I don't
baby.
even,
You're the baby in your
yeah,
family.
yeah, well,
Your
I
Lola
don't,
babies you. Your
like
mom
I don't
babies
even
you.
no, she knows just from my face, like she'd know already. Like just from my face, she'd know already. Like, oh, wait na tayo. She'd be like, she'd tell me that, like, oh, uwi na lagi tayo. Because I would like, I would have this look like I'd rather be home playing PS5. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I can't even give her the time. I can't even allow her the luxury. Like I'm that selfish. And yet with her, she literally stayed with my mom when she was in the States. She lived with my cousin when she was in the States. She's never met him. She met him for the first time, and she lived with him, and she dealt with that. And I always asked her, wow, like I'm shocked that she was that comfortable with my relatives after meeting them for
She's
the first
used
time.
to
And
it.
this was in the
She's
US, and she
she's
stayed
used to
with them
like
for months.
adjusting to people.
Yeah,
because she's always
she's
like just
yes,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
That's what I was saying about you. Your zone of comfort is broader than mine. So the people that you can welcome into your life, it's more varied than mine. It's you know, your situations that you can be thrown into that you can survive, that I would probably like be in dire straits. And I think that's the same thing with my wifey. It's like, because it's like you've been to war and now you're back, and a person who's been to war can easily adapt to peace, but a person
Mhm.
who's lived peacefully in all his life will die and not survive a second in a war zone, you know, because he wouldn't know how to respond. So you know, and that's what I admire about her. And it's that she's never once made me feel like she's not comfortable in my world, whereas I've made her so many times, like I, you know, like, and
Mhm.
that's just how it is. And she knows, she understands it, because she doesn't also force me. And I think you don't also force your wifey, right? Like, she enjoys
No,
it,
I
but
don't.
you also don't
No,
force
not
her. Like,
anymore.
you know, does she force you into her world?
No, no. Well, no, because well, she doesn't really go into her world
I
though.
mean, is there an adjustment on your
She's
part if you're with her with her
no, no. It's
family?
it's
I mean,
not
is there an
like.
adjustment on you?
Well, here's the thing.
I
Here's the
mean,
there.
are
Um,
they any different?
it's well, they have a different relationship, and for some reason, I would say that she likes the dynamics in my world than their dynamics. I guess, like
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying
yeah,
that she
because
loves
you
them
guys are
less, but
funny.
it's yeah. So it's in that way, right? But if her family, if her mom and her mom's mom and dad's here, I don't have a problem. Like I always like adjust. I let them be. I leave them alone, and I because here's the thing with them, it's not like with us. They want my wife to be in it. You know what I'm saying?
See, leave them alone. That's something I would do. That's
Yeah.
something I would do.
No,
It's
because
like,
I would leave them. No, because the
you're not
dynamics
supposed
here
to
is
leave
like,
them alone. You're supposed to join them.
yeah. But here's the thing: her father wants to like be with her, and he wants to spend time with her. If I'm in the picture, it's like I'm more of a bother. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do, but I
Like
don't
just
stay
them. Like just
long.
like she's the baby. Like kind of like,
Yes,
you know.
because their relationship is really different. Like like her father really loves her and loves my daughter. So my wife's his favorite. So my daughter's his favorite too. So I'm not in the equation. I
Got
don't
it.
think I matter to
Got it.
him.
Got
I don't think I matter. I have accepted that. I don't matter to
it.
him.
You're not the we're not,
And it's fine. And it's fine because
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not I'm
So you let
like
it
the
be.
only thing that
Yeah.
matters.
You
Yeah, I let it be.
respect their
I would join
relationship.
them. Yes, I would. I want them to be comfortable. Like
Yeah,
when they're
yeah.
here, like oh yeah, they would even feel like sometimes they'd be like no, no it's fine. They're like I let them like yeah turn like for example they wouldn't turn on the heater because they'd be embarrassed to like maybe the bills and stuff. Like no no just turn on the heater and whatever. It's fine. Like watch TV or but they kind of like have that and like and so
Yeah.
that's why I think I try to leave them alone so that they would be more comfortable. If I'm around, they'd be like it seems like they're walking on eggshells and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
there are times that I would
Yeah.
be there when we were like especially dinner. I
Yeah.
wouldn't really stay too long, and once they start talking, and I'm like I'd start to leave and like do something else. But yeah, like when we have trips as well, like I really try. Like it's okay, but you can tell I'm not the one with the wall. I'm not the one with the wall. Like my father-in-law has
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
certain like
Got it.
not just to me, but I think to all his in-laws. So to be fair, right? So, but I understand that. I get that. I don't take it against him. And
Yeah.
it's like even one time when we were in the car, we were on the way to Snow's recital, and he bought stuff from the convenience store, and I think he was really already hungry, and he didn't eat in the car. It was like I was like, hey, it's okay to eat in the car. He didn't eat in the car.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Oh,
like
okay. I got it. I got it.
I have that thing in
Yeah.
the car that it's like a tray. I put it up. It's like yeah, it's fine to eat here. Like Snow eats here because I think
Yeah.
when the car
Yeah.
was, I was like telling Snow not to eat in the car. So I think he thought that it's
Yeah.
still the same rule. So he didn't
Yeah.
eat in the car. So by the time we got to the venue of the recital, then he started eating. That
Yeah.
when we got home, my wife told me the story like, oh, the Papa didn't really eat in the car because he thought that you don't even allow Snow to eat in the car. I was like, no, see, I'm like, I even told like you can eat in the car, it's fine. But he
Yeah. Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that sort of.
I got
I was
you.
like, no,
I got
man,
you.
like kind of
Yeah,
hard, and
we would
so
get along. I would get along with your. I'd get along with your father-in-law.
I'm
I don't
sure.
like eating in the
Like
car either.
he
I don't
gets
like people eating in the car.
he gets along with everybody. It took time before he got along with me. Like, dude, he would talk to everybody. Like when we were still girlfriend, like boyfriend girlfriend, and I think that was
Yeah.
like her birthday, and he talked to all the guests, the guys who went there. Except me. He never talked to
Okay.
me. He talked to
Of
he
course,
talked to my wife's friend's boyfriend,
dude.
not to me.
You're you're taking away his baby. What are you talking about? Of
Exactly,
course.
exactly. So
I mean,
that's why I
come
make
on,
him feel
man.
like I did not take away her daughter. So when they're here, I give them time. I don't interrupt, whatever. Like if we went to Toki Premium Outlet, like we go to the outlet, dude, I'm stuck with my daughter. My wife's
Dude,
just like with her parents, and
you,
they're like
you,
just like
you know these things you're saying that okay, my dad's like he doesn't even eat in the car or whatever. You know what? He's making a list and he's blaming it all on you. I, s- I at least I said want me to eat in his car. He's like he's making it out to be your fault.
I hope not.
If
I
I
really
re-
hope not.
no, of course I'm kidding. But see, when you mentioned like okay, so your dad's like your father-in-law's like the type who's they would be more comfortable if you weren't around, right? My in-laws on the other hand it's the other way around, and I know CJ's tuned in. I know CJ can attest to this. They're more the type who would take it against you, not really take it against you, but probably be more kind of concerned if you were not joining them. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's the
Like,
case.
why
That's the
is
case
Rod in his
with my
room? Why is he
family.
not down here eating with us?
Yes, that's the
Does he have
case
issues?
with my wife and my family. My mom would be like, "Where's Bating? Where's
Yeah, that's
Nephew?"
how my wife's family is. They'd be
My
like,
sister would be like,
why is Rod not here? I'm like, I already
"Yeah,
ate, and they would think that
yeah."
I did that I don't want to join them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be
Kakay
that.
would
So
say
I'm
like,
more concerned about showing.
"All right." Kakay would
Yeah,
probably like if she's not around, like even when just like talking, Kakay would be like, "Saan si Ate Bating?" Like like in bed, like, ano, uwi-uwi siya. It's like she would say those things. Tawagin mo nga doon, uwi-uwi siya. Then
yeah,
my
yeah,
wife
yeah,
would
yeah,
go,
yeah,
would
yeah.
be like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
like, ano yung sinabi mo, Kaya? Like, she would, like, say it to her. Like, uwi-uwi ka na naman. Like, so it's like, she's like part of the family, like, really, really part of the family. And sometimes when I
yeah,
walk in and they're, like, talking, I'm like, what are you talking about? They'd be like, oh, it doesn't concern you. Like, what the heck?
yeah,
So, yeah, so the
dude.
dynamics between my family and her family, it's, like, a bit different. So, yeah, like, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, but you roll with the situation. I mean, but like I said, it's really all fun and games until things get serious. Because like for example, it's like you can compare it to like how I would talk to my son as how I would talk to maybe my nephew or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if with your son, like with your child, you can literally be totally brutal with them. I mean, I'm not saying like abuse them
Right.
or anything, but you can be like, you can, if they did something, you can be like, Raj, why did you do this? But if it's like someone else's kid, whether it's your nephew or your niece, you're holding back because they will look at you differently. Even though their dad has probably done worse things to them, but you're not the dad. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like the
True.
same thing with like your in-laws. Like I cannot talk to my in-laws the way I talk to my mom. Like if my mom leaves
Never.
tissues around, I get like, Ma, I don't know, tissues, man, clean after yourself. But if like let's say my brother-in-law does that, of course I can't tell her that. Maybe my
It's
wifey
the
will tell
same.
her that
It's
or
the
something.
same. It's the same.
Yeah,
And
so
yeah,
so we sometimes you're right. Sometimes we forget how uncomfortable our partners are with when they're with our parents because there are things that you should have the initiative to be the one to tell your parent because even if my wife is not comfortable with it, she's not gonna tell my mom because out of respect. So I would have to be the one to be more wary of like maybe okay, baka ginamit ng mom ko yung pan na ginagamit ng wife ko pang bake. You know what I'm saying? It's like and my wife just can't tell my mom because even though I tell her, babe, you tell mama, like you tell mama if she does something that but my wife would never do that because out of respect for me, so I should be the one to do it. Um, and it's never a problem. I mean, like i- we're just lucky that we're fortunate that our in-laws are not like psychos from hell. You know what I'm saying?
true, true.
I
We're
mean, it
lucky.
could be a lot
That's
worse.
that's that's true. All right, so no show for tomorrow. Maybe Sunday or Monday. All right, yeah,
Yeah, Sunday
maybe I
or
can do
Monday, I'm
Sunday.
good,
All
man.
right, all right,
Yeah,
right,
I have
okay.
hosting tomorrow. I
All
don't
right,
mind
so
Sundays. Sundays are good.
yeah, okay, Sunday. Yeah, I think I can do Sunday. Yeah, I'll text you Sunday morning, what time, right? So
Okay.
yeah, it could be the same time,
Can you
right? No
do like
problem.
is there a possibility we can do an early Sunday, like a surprise attack show, like maybe during
Probably,
daytime,
probably.
right?
Could
Let
be.
me
Could
like
be.
capture a different audience. let's just
All
see
right.
how that
Okay. Yeah.
works.
All right.
Yeah,
All right. Okay. Maybe afternoon. All
right.
right.
Yeah,
Let's try that.
maybe. Well, because it's a
All
Sunday
right.
anyways. We don't usually do
Yeah.
shows on Sunday, so
Okay.
it's fine.
All
I
right.
mean,
Okay. So,
all
all right.
right.
Good luck with your hosting tomorrow.
Thanks,
Good luck with the
man.
gig.
Thanks,
At
thanks.
least the gigs are back. That's good. It's
I
cool.
know, I know, I know.
All right. So,
Time to
yeah.
pay the
So we'll
bills.
see you guys, and thanks a lot for joining us.
Bye,
Katag-katag
Siege.
topic
Don't drink,
is the
CJ.
game.
Don't drink too
All right.
much.
Yeah. Just
All
enough
right.
to get drunk. All right. All right. This has been the OK Show. My name's Iceman,
Rod Rodriguez.
and we are out. Good night.
He did 4.